Hello there, juniors. Welcome back for week 9. A couple things about week 9 before we jump into the work that you have this week. All right, so this is week 9. Next week is obviously week 10. Spring break starts at the end of next week. And so you'll see what the assignments that we're doing this week. Actually, I'm going to start you off with an assignment this week. You're going to finish it off next week. Got to get it in by Friday next week. That's a little bit different than we normally do. Usually I give you till the following Monday. But because spring break starts at the end of next week, I want you to have that done before you go to spring break after school on Friday. So um, also makeup work. I want any makeup work from weeks 1 to 9 to get turned in before we come back from spring break. That is late work, so you still get 80% credit, but that's better than getting a missing or a 0 on an assignment because you didn't do it. So um, if you are missing Cornell notes, if you're missing any other assignments, get those into Jupiter over spring break or even before spring break so you can still get credit. When we come back from spring break, I am not going to accept that stuff. You've got to be on it as a college-bound student. You shouldn't be behind in your work anyway. You should find ways to always stay on top of it and make sure you can get everything done. Not only get it done, but get it done well, but at least be able to get it done. You should always be able to stay on top of your work. Okay? So any makeup work has got to be done over spring break, or else it's not going to be accepted after that. Okay, let's talk about what you do have going on this week. So week 9, we're going to delve into the UC application even a little bit deeper this week. We'll talk about that in just a second. So questions and summary, nothing new here. This is the 6th check. This is going to be for week 9. If this is good news, maybe this will motivate you a little bit. We are not going to do questions and summary next week. So no questions and summary for week 10. That means week 9 is your last one. So maybe that'll get you a little bit of gusto to get it done, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Also, we're going to update our grade log for week 9. Next week, we will finish off the grade log and then write a small reflection before we go to spring break. So make sure you're staying on top of your grade log. So those two, like I said, that's common AVID stuff right there. Nothing new. We've been doing that every week for like the last, 4 or 5 weeks at least. Okay, so you should be like totally in the zone on that stuff right now. The new thing is these UC response questions. Okay, so let me explain. First of all, again, it's going to be due on a Friday, which is March 19th. That's not this Friday. That's a week from Friday. So you got a little bit of time on that one. Okay. So Monday the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Wait, I think I'm off on my week. No, 12th, 19th. Okay. I was a little off there. No, I got it right. Okay. So if you scroll down, and we'll talk about this more on Wednesday. These are the same 2 links that I gave you last week for setting up your UC account. You should have done that last week. You should have set up your UC account and taken a screenshot and sent it to Jupiter. This week, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going into these response questions. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that on Wednesday. But you remember I kind of showed you last week how there are these 8 questions that the UC schools ask you to pick 4 from. Okay, so you're going to actually pick 4 and you're going to brainstorm them, meaning create bullet points of what you would talk about in those questions. And then you're going to write responses for those 4. Now, remember, your responses should only be about 250 to 350 words. That's not a lot of words. That's maybe like 2 paragraphs. Okay, so, you got to be real clear, real quick, real concise on what you're writing there. They don't want, like a page response to each question. And we'll talk about this more on Wednesday. One big thing that is helpful to me, I need you to double space. In fact, you know what? I'm going to highlight that. Okay, double space everything in your paper. So you're going to type this up. You should be able to do that as an AVID student. The reason I need you to double space it is because I'm going to be writing comments. And if you notice when I was doing your personal statements, it's really hard for me to write comments when all the words are crammed together. So by double spacing it, you give me space where I can make a lot of comments. And so please double space everything. Make sure your name is also on it. because when I print them out, I need to make sure I know whose is whose. Okay. So that's two things I'm going to be pushing. Make sure your name is on the actual file, on the paper itself, and then double space everything. Other than that, I'm going to talk more about these on Wednesday. And this is going to be a draft. Okay. So yes, you need to do it, of course, but is it going to be perfect the first time out? No. In fact, you're going to write these and I'm going to give you a whole bunch of feedback, and then we're going to come back after spring break, and then we're going to, rewrite them, and we're going to make them great. That way you have them done. So when it comes time to do college applications this coming summer and fall, you're ready to go. You don't have to sit down and write them. You're like, just copy and paste them in. I'm ready to go. That's the goal here. That's what we want. So now again, it is not due this Monday. You've got a little bit more time than normal. It's due next Friday, right before spring break. Okay. So we'll talk about it Wednesday, and we'll talk about it the following Wednesday a little bit more, and then you'll turn them in. Okay. So 2 things you need to have by Monday are your question summary and your grade log. This can wait until next week. Well, I wouldn't wait to start it, though. I feel hesitant to say that. You really want to get started on this thing this week. Don't wait till next week to start this, because you're only going to have 5 days next week because of the shortened week. Okay, with that, that's what we got going on. I'll see you all in class for Monday for a check-in, but then we'll talk on Wednesday. All right? Have a good one.